Good afternoon and welcome. Let's take a look at our top story. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has declared a state of emergency to tackle the rising coronavirus infections in the population hotspots like Tokyo. Abe's government has also unveiled a stimulus package to soften the economic blow due to the impending lockdown. Abe announced the state of emergency targeting the capital, about 44% of Japan's population. The state of emergency will impose for a month. In an official statement, Abe said, and I quote, "We have decided to declare a state of emergency because we've judged that a fast spread of the coronavirus nationwide would have an enormous impact on the lives and the economy." Now, his cabinet will also finalize a stimulus package worth $990 billion, equal to about 20% of Japan's economic output. This to cushion the impact of the epidemic on the world's third largest economy. Now, for more on this, we are being joined by our correspondent Grace Lee from Tokyo. Good afternoon to you, Grace. State of emergency has been declared in Tokyo, Osaka, and 5 other prefectures to combat the coronavirus. Take us through these details.
Government on what further measures will be taken, but it looks like what they've discussed so far is that some voluntary measures will be implemented, such as asking people in these areas to stay indoors. You won't be penalized if you do go outside or if you are caught doing something that the governor has asked you not to do. There are no penalizations because of some complications with Japan's law, but people will be asked to stay indoors. Essential businesses will remain open, such as hospitals, clinics. It seems restaurants are included in those, so it looks like takeout delivery will still be an available option for a lot of people here. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has repeatedly said that he can't do a lockdown in the sense that the New York or the UK or even Italy has gone through, saying that that would impede on too many rights. It's just not going to happen here in Japan. But what we are seeing is the government making an effort to ramp towards COVID-19, as we see an increase and a surge in cases, especially here in Tokyo, which has become a hotspot. Japan's doctors, medical community earlier this week had announced a separate medical emergency, saying that they're running out of bed space and they simply don't have enough doctors who are qualified to treat COVID-19 patients. So that means doctors who can use ventilators and make sure that people are breathing properly. They simply don't have the number of doctors required if we keep seeing the curve go the way that it's been going so far in Tokyo.
This has taken Shinzo Abe quite a while to impose a state of emergency. What has taken him so long to react?
Well, I've spoken to some experts and they think it might have been, simply a balancing act, trying to figure out how much of a delay they can afford with how Japan's economy has been pushed back. Japan's economy was already on the brink of a recession before COVID-19 hit Japan. Now we're seeing some awful numbers for tourism. Chinese tourists are not coming here at all. And of course, trade with China is down as well. So COVID-19 hitting the rest of the world has affected Japan as well. And so they've been trying to figure out, well, how do we do this without having a lot of people here in Japan losing their jobs? And some critics say perhaps they waited a little too much. And now we've already seen the spread here in Japan. We've seen a lot of these cases, the majority actually, are not traceable, and that means that we have community outbreaks here in Japan. And the longer we wait and the more the virus spreads in the community, the harder it's going to be to contain it. So that's why these measures are kicking in now. The big problem is, though, that most of these measures are preventative, like asking people to stay indoors, shutting down schools, which Prime Minister Shinzo Abe already did about a month ago. Some schools have reopened. Probably. These are preventative measures to, stop the spread while it's early. The big question is it early at the moment? Are we already seeing a lot of cases that have spread and we just don't know about it yet?
And going on to the economic impact, the cabinet has announced that there will be a stimulus package worth $1 trillion.
Yeah, it's the biggest Japan has ever seen of its kind, $1 trillion. It's pretty remarkable. But like I said, Japan has been seeing hard times even before COVID-19. It's going to go into a deep recession here. Now with Tokyo being on kind of a semi-lockdown situation, there is worry that the economic impact of that will be tremendous as well. So that's kind of been at the top of the mind for a lot of the government officials here who are worried about what Japan might look like after COVID-19, especially as Japan prepares next year as well. So the package will be split into two parts. It will include a cash handout to residents here, some assistance to small businesses who are suffering from COVID-19 related setbacks. And then the second part will be after COVID-19 is over, the pandemic is declared over. They're going to try and stimulate the economy a little bit more, stimulate consumer spending, as well as get tourism back on track. That's what we know about it so far, but of course, more details will be revealed by Prime Minister Shinzo Abe later tonight.
Grace, thank you for that report. That's Grace Lee coming to us live from Tokyo for the latest on Japan moving into a state of emergency due to COVID-19.